Hello people. So today I am gonna be doing about the past and how to move on. I've changed angle because I had my friend um kind of tell me that I was kind of too close to the camera. So thank you, Aaron. Anyways, this video is quite complicated because I think it's gonna be one of the most complicated videos I've made in a while. Probably for another bit because of the fact that like it's quite individual because everyone's gone through different experiences. And at the end of the day, this video is not about like how to fully get over something. It's kind of a guide to partly, because in my opinion, you never fully get over anything. It'll just follow you throughout your life. Um, okay, so I'm gonna get started. So everyone is different, which is probably the most key part. Not everyone's gonna react to experiences in different ways. You know, um, I think distracting yourself is definitely something that's quite key. I think when I went through something difficult a few years back, the main focus I got told is to just distract yourself. Like even if it's like watching a video, even if it's something so simple, watching a video, hanging out with your family and everything. I think that's definitely something that's very key. Um, I think also what's in my experience, because I don't know if it's like with everyone else, talking to someone. Now, when I started, doing my therapy and everything, I didn't really like talking about how I felt. I felt it was kind of awkward and I didn't like it. And then the more I did it, the more I slowly got introduced to the factor of like how important it is to talk about it. But at the end of the day, you should never feel pressure to tell someone what's happened or tell them how it made you feel. In life, you've always got to do stuff at your pace. It's your life. No one can tell you, what to do. At the end of the day, it is, your life. Like I said, no one can tell you what to do. Um, and what I, how I can gather from my experience, because whatever you've gone through is different from what I've gone through. I don't know how you feel. You don't know how I feel. Everyone's different. We've all gone through things differently. Um, I definitely think like what how I can gather. Um, it is awkward to talk about with your family and your friends. I do believe that. So if you struggle with that, that's understandable. I definitely went through that. Kind of like I didn't tell anyone about my feelings, and I had to wait until I could go into therapy to talk about it. But if you can do that, then do it. I do think talking to someone about your experiences is healthy. Um, but to move on, if you think you can move on fully, which you may be sometimes, I don't know, you're all individual, but most of the time, I do believe that you don't fully move on. You may have done things that bad stuff's happened to you, and you want to get past that, and you struggle to. That and you may never move on, but it doesn't mean it has to define you. Doesn't mean it has to trouble you through your life. All you need to do is just acknowledge it. Acknowledgement is key. I would say acknowledgement is very key. You just gotta look what happened and try and get over it. And even when you distract yourself, like I said, distractions is key. Even when you do distract yourself and you feel like within you distracting it, you're still thinking of it, there was like a minute or two, even seconds, that you just didn't think of it. So even that's key because it's building up that character. It's the fact that like you can have a moment where you just don't think of it, and that can grow, that can keep growing. All you need is patience and time. You know. Um, this video is gonna be quite short. because I have to do some college stuff, so I'm sorry if it's quite short and it's quite unstructured. This video is definitely one of the hardest I think I'll make for a bit because of the fact that it's so complicated. But you do things in your own way. You will get over it in your own way. I certainly did when I know I said comparing, is kind of not something to like, do. You shouldn't compare experiences, but I'm not comparing. I'm just trying to relate. Um, I did it in my own time. I got given the guides to, but at the end of the day, like I said before in a previous video, people's gonna give you the resources. You just gotta build the picture, and that's definitely key. I built my own picture, and people supported me. Great thanks to them. Um, but even the good times, with family, with friends, even when I'm talking to my friends and my family, it was a great help, and I can't thank them enough because it was, I was going through a lot of that time, and even talking to them, it helped me a lot. So huge thanks to my family and friends for that. But I understand, like what you've gone through is terrible, and that is definitely something that acknowledging's hard to look at. And when you acknowledge it, you've got to think, okay, that happened, and you got to think of the future. You went through that, and you got to think, what can I do in the future to stop it from happening again, or to just kind of move on. But I think at the end of the day, it's you. No one's gonna save you. At the end of the day, no one's gonna. You're not gonna find that person who will just do it for you. At the end of the day, the only way to get over it is yourself. It's you. It's your responsibility. Yeah, sorry, big store. Your responsibility to get over it. As sad as it happened to you, it's you. It's your life. If you really want to get over it, all you can do is try. And you'll fail if if anything bad happens in between, you fail, you just try again. And keep trying. And I promise you, when you get to the other side, it's really nice. You're more wiser, you're more probably emotionally structured and everything, and the way you perceive things, and it builds up your character as well. So I think if you're that person right now who's struggling through a lot, talk to someone. Sorry if I'm not kind of worded things good today. I'm a bit kind of tired. I didn't sleep well last night, so I'm not really, really, really in the mindset to talk right now. But I'm doing it anyways because kind of want to. But yeah, talk to someone. Just acknowledge what's happened and understand that you can't do anything about it. You can't change the past as much as you'd want to. I'm sorry, you can't. And that's something hard. You'd say, I wish I could go back, but you can't. You can't. So stop saying that. It it's very hard because it sounds like I'm demanding you to get over it now. No, I'm not. I'm just saying that if you really do want to, get over it, just acknowledge it and understand that you can't do anything about it. And it's a sad truth, but it is the truth. So I'm gonna go. I hope you do talk to someone if you're struggling. I I just hope whoever's watching this, and if you are going through something, I wish you the best. Okay. Um. Sorry if the video was quite boring. If I was tired. Sorry. If I was misunderstood, you couldn't understand me. I'm very tired. Um. So yeah, like and subscribe. It's a great help. And like I always say, drink well, eat well, sleep well, and a bit else, people. Have a good day.